Hey guys, welcome back, and in this video we will be going through one question from the topic of numbers from the 2007 to the 2011 past year PSLE Mathematics question paper series. So without any further ado, let's begin. Figure 1 shows a square tile made up of two black squares P and Q and two identical white rectangles R. The length of one side of Q is twice the length of one side of P. Part A. What fraction of the square tile in figure 1 is made up of black squares? Okay, so in the question stem we are given that the length of Q is twice the length of P, which means if we have square Q, if we have square Q and we have square P, sorry about that. So we have square P as well. Then the length of Q would be 2 units and the length of P would be 1 unit. Same goes for the height. So this means that the length of P would be 1 unit and the length of Q would be 2 units. And now the length of P is the same as the width of R. It is the same as the breadth of R, which means that the breadth of R would also be 1 unit. So the whole length of figure 1 is 3 units, right? We have 1 unit plus 2 unit. And now figure 1 is a square tile, which means that all sides of this square tile would have the same length, which would be 3 units. So now the area of this tile would be 3 units times 3 units, which gives us 9 squared units. So all we have to do is to divide this tile into 9 equal parts. So when we do that, we get something like this, some figure like this, and we have to find the total shaded area, the total shaded region. That is what they mean by what fraction of the square is made up of black squares. So it's just the area of the shaded region divided by the total area of the square, and the square tile has a total area of 9 squared units. So the total area is equals to 9 squared units as found over here, and the region and the area of the shaded region is what? Okay, so if you see one small unit on this square, like this one region on the square has an area of 1 squared unit. So a total of 5 small squares are occupied by the black regions, the shaded regions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These five small units are occupied by black squares. So the total shaded area, or the total black area, is equals to 5 squared units, because one small square has an area of 1 unit square. So we have 5 square units over 9 square units for the total area of the total fraction of areas of the black square. So then 5, this will cancel out, so all we get is 5 over 9. So the answer for this question is 5/9. So now moving on to part B. Figure 2 below shows a floor laid with the square tiles. The floor is 18 meters by 18 meters and is completely covered. The keyword is completely with the square tiles. Find the total area of the floor covered by the black squares. Okay, so this is not much of a problem. All we have to do is to find the total area of this floor, and since the length and the breadth of the floor have the same measurements, the floor is basically in a square shape. So the area of the floor is 18 meters times 18 meters, which gives us 18 squared is 324 square meters. Okay, and if you see this, the square floor is completely covered with the square tiles, which means that there is no region, there is no portion of the floor that is left uncovered. So the total area of the total area covered by the black squares would just be 5 by 9 times 324 meters square meters, which gives us 180 square meters. Now, if we don't understand why I did 5/9 of 324, I'll explain you now. Okay, so we're not given the length of one side of the square tile. We don't know how many square tiles there are on one side of the square floor, correct? So if this is the case, okay, so for the sake of explanation, I'll just assume that the length of the square tile is, let's say, 3 meters. Now, of course, in the exam, you can't assume like this. I'm just doing it for the sake of explanation. So the length of one square tile is 3 meters. This would mean that the total area of one tile would be 3 meters times 3 meters, which gives us 9 squared meters, correct? And in the first part, we found out that the fraction of the square tile made up of black squares is 5/9. So the total area of the black squares in the tile is 5/9 of 9 meters squared, of 9 square meters, which gives us 5 square meters. So this is for one tile. I should replace this with 1 in one tile. Now this is important, yeah, in one tile. Okay, so now the length of one tile is 3 meters. This would mean that in the whole, like in the length of this square floor, we would have a total of 6 tiles. How did I get 6? It's just 18 meters divided by 3 meters, which gives us 6 tiles. And since the floor is a square floor, either sides, the length, like all the sides, would have 6 tiles, 6 square tiles. Okay, so this would mean that the whole floor is covered in 6 times 6, which gives us 36 square tiles. Here we have 6 tiles, and then here we would also have 6 tiles. So 6 times 6 gives us 36 tiles, covering the whole length, covering the whole area of the floor. And in one square tile, we have 5 meters squared of shaded region, right? So it means in 36 square tiles, we would have a total of 36 times 5 square meters of shaded region, which gives us 180 square meters. So either way, if you do 5/9 of the whole area of the floor, or you multiply the shaded area of one tile by the total number of tiles on the floor, you should get the same answer. Now, of course, since the question did not state what is the length of each tile, we can't outright assume that the length is 3 meters. So I just used 3 meters as an example of explanation, as an example for explanation. So now the main underlying concept behind why I did 5/9 of the total area of the floor is that if you have, let's say, one rectangle, which is divided into 4 equal parts, and of these 4 equal parts, 3 regions are shaded and 1 region is unshaded. So we would say that 3/4 of this rectangle is shaded. is. So no matter how many rectangles we have, if I put another rectangle over here, identical rectangle, break this up into 4 equal parts, and then I put another rectangle over here, where this should be connected. Yeah, if I put another rectangle over here and break this up into 4 equal parts, we would still say that 3/4 of the whole figure is shaded, right? This whole figure is how many small rectangles? 12 small rectangles, right? And out of these 12 small rectangles, how many small rectangles are shaded? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 are shaded. 9 small rectangles are shaded. This is shaded. So the total fraction of shaded rectangles in the whole figure would be 9 by 12, which gives us 3 by 4. So eventually we will get 3 by 4 as our answer. So this means that no matter how many identical figures we have how many identical rectangles we have in the whole figure, the total fraction of shaded region would always be 3/4. So the same applies for this square floor over here. No matter how many small square tiles we have, the total area of the shaded region would always be 5/9 of the total area. And the total area is 18 squared. 18 times 18, which is 324 square meters. So 5/9 of 324 square meters gives us 180 square meters. So which is why I did this step over here. Yeah, so that's the main concept for this question. So what students usually do is they go around with the second method of what I did, of first finding the total number of tiles, and then you multiply the shaded area of each tile times the number of tiles. And yeah, although that method is, you can't say it's wrong, but it's quite lengthy, it's quite cumbersome. So yeah, so just practice as many questions of this type as you can, and then you'll get the hang of using this method. It's quite fast, straightforward, and simple, and you'll get the answer in very less steps. So yeah, that's it for this question. Yeah, so that was the question for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Yeah, on a side note, these type of questions, they do require some time to solve, so you won't outright be able to solve it within 2 or 3 minutes. But yes, do practice as many questions as you can on of this type. And another thing I wanted to highlight is that for such questions, cross-checking these questions might not be so straightforward. So like for the second method I used, where I assumed the length of each tile to be 3 meters, now you can use that method for cross-checking. Yeah, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys found it beneficial, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Moreover, please do help me achieve my goal of helping as many people as possible by sharing these videos to other people you know, so that even they can benefit from it. So do stay tuned for my next video. Until then, goodbye.